Greetings, students of Woodland High School. The purpose of our video today is to walk you through the ASB and Class Senator election criteria. As we begin the process of electing ASB officers and class senators for the 2022-2023 school year next year, I thought it would be important for us to kind of walk through the requirements and the availability of additional documents that you have in case you're interested in running for office. One of the things that's become really important to the team here at Woodland High School is to encourage diversity of student participation. We really just want to see more students engaging in student government. And that process kind of begins with at least selecting ASB officers and class senators. And then I'm going to talk you through sort of the next steps after that. Because maybe those are not positions that you are interested in, but you do want to engage in student government. So I'm going to offer you some other alternatives to do that. The first thing I really want to do is walk through the calendar for the upcoming elections. So I want you to note here that this week I'm beginning the process of advertising for elections, which includes a video like this. You're also going to see a packet that's sent to you in your email, which includes an application involved. There's also an application in the main office if you have interest as well. And I always want you to reach out to me, Mrs. Condit, in case you have any questions. Next week, on Thursday, May 5th, students will need to have completed applications if you're interested in running for an ASB or class senator office. We'll go through the primary phases the week thereafter on May 10th through the 13th. That really only applies to students who are running for an ASB office. It wouldn't apply to students who are running for a class senator position. And then May 17th through the 20th is when we move into the general election. So I'm going to back up here and talk briefly about primaries. A primary is a narrowing down of a field of candidates. If we have, let's say, 15 people who want to run for ASB vice president, we need to narrow that field down to 2. The primary phase allows us to do that. So all 15, in that case, all 15 candidates would run in the primaries, and then the top 2 vote earners would move into the general election. So May 17th through the 20th is the general election. That's when we've narrowed down to 2 candidates for each of the ASB positions. And then for the class senator positions, they have their elections at that time. So if we have 12 students running for sophomore class senator, we'll take the top 4 vote earners and they will win the election. And I'll talk a little bit more about class senators here shortly. By May 23rd, my hope is to have all of our new officers in place and ready to roll to get excited about the 2022-2023 year in student government. I want to show you the document that you'll have in your email here, just kind of briefly, because I know that you can kind of work through it yourself, but I want to see what's here and walk you through it. So this document shows us all the positions that exist within ASB and class senator offices, and then the requirements for those offices. So for example, if you'd like to be ASB president, you have to have an ASB card next year. You have to have a grade point average of a 2.5 or higher. You have to be a junior or senior, and you have to be attending WHS for at least 5 periods a day. And then there's a variety of duties here that indicate kind of what that job might look like. And likewise, we have that for all of these offices. Some of our offices allow sophomores to participate, and some don't. Some are open to students who are running START, and some are not. And that's largely because of the nature of the work and needing to meet with students perhaps daily or in an emergency situation. The treasurer is a job that is appointed. It is one of the only jobs in ASB that's appointed, and it's appointed by the principal officially, the ASB school treasurer, which is Cindy Thoney. And they work together to find the person that will work in that position just due to the nature of the job. The running START correspondent is somebody who was obviously advocating for students who are running START. If you're interested in social media and communications, the ASB communications officer might be the right job for you. So please take a look to see what that job looks like. We do have a school board representative. Now this year, that position is not electable. And that's because under the Constitution revision that was done last week, That position is now a 2-year position. That is to create some stability and efficiency in that specific job, which is very unique to ASB. And this year we've added an ASB team high school representative. So students who attend team will also make sure that they have their voice heard on the council, because we think that that's important here at Woodland High School. And students who are attending team will be electing their team representative. So if you attend team, please know that there's a place for you here too. In previous years at Woodland High School, there were class positions like president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And one of the things that really struck us over the past year is how it doesn't seem like those jobs are differentiated, meaning like the treasurer isn't really managing the bills of the class, and the secretary isn't always the only one taking notes. And so, in a sense of changing and really thinking about equality of positions within that class, we've decided to shift it instead of having a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer to instead have a class senators. Each class will have 4 of them. Within those senatorial duties, the group will kind of decide how they want to split up work as needed. But ultimately, the idea of being a senator is that you represent your class in a variety of settings, and that includes to the ASB Senate meetings. I've listed those requirements here, so please take a look at them. There's junior senators, senior senators, and sophomore senators. There will be freshman senators. Freshman senators are oftentimes selected while the students are in 8th grade at the end of their 8th grade year. Lastly, I have some basic information here regarding filing for office, how you do this, and what are some of the rules around it. And then my rules about standards and ethics, because I think this is really important that we understand that if you choose to seek an office, I'm just going to ask that you please do not denigrate the other people who are seeking office as well. We run on our own merits, and if you decide that you want to run and you file an application, I'll reach out to you and kind of talk to you about the next steps. But nonetheless, if you're going to post signs around the school, all of those need to be approved by me. And I work through that here in this section on the document. Lastly, you have your application. Now, again, this application is going to be available to you as a PDF, which you can print, or you, of course, can come and get a hard copy from me or from the WHS main office. Please return that copy of the application. I just need the application. I don't need the top documents. And I'd like you to make sure that you hand that in either to the WHS main office, and they'll put that in my mailbox, or you can bring it directly to me. I'm on the 2nd floor on the Portland wing, room 2206, and I'm happy to take your application. Remember, they must be received by May 5th. So all of the application is here, including your school contact information. Finally, if running for an ASB or class senator position isn't something that you feel comfortable doing, I want you to know that there's still a place for you in Woodland High School student government. And what that means is that next year you'll have the opportunity to be a senator from a club that you might participate in. Each club will designate a senator, and that will be up to the club's constitution. But please understand that our goal is not to have students kind of double running. We want to increase diversity of student voice, and that means that it would be good for somebody to represent one club and not represent 3 clubs. So there's opportunity for you there. Likewise, if we keep CLC next year, each CLC will send a senator to ASB Senate. If we do not keep CLC next year, then every English class at Woodland High School will select a senator to send to the ASB Senate. We'll talk a little bit more about that next year when we have a better sense of what's going to happen with CLC. But with that said, I want you to know that there's still opportunity for you. I don't want to shut the door to any student who wants to engage and help advocate for their peers, for their groups that they belong to, like their classes, and of course, for student body as a whole. There is a place for you in Woodland High School government. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to speak with you and answer those questions that you might have. So thank you for listening. And if you need anything more, you know where to find me.